We'll record. Hey, everybody.
Hi.
We will give Facebook a minute or two just to let everybody know that we're here live. God, I hope my comments come through live. It's been really annoying because I have to go out and like refresh the page so I can't see them come live. I don't know what I have to do. Who knows, but I'll figure that out.
Or
it's only been the last couple of weeks that it's been happening like that. So I can't see as people are, I mean, there's a delay anyways with Zoom to Facebook. So then with the delay and then me having to go out and pull them, it's just like a giant pain. So we'll figure it out. Tom Benton, you were in San Diego this weekend.
I was seeing live music in San Diego on the campus of San Diego State. It was fantastic.
I love it. So you went to, okay, so this shows my like total ignorance, but you went to see Wilco.
That's correct. Yeah.
And all I remember is like in the 80s, there was like a band. It wasn't Wilco. It was something else that was like an English thing. I don't know. That's all I keep thinking about because isn't he like some country guy or something?
Well, it's Jeff Tweedy, who you see back here.
Right.
On the Jeff Tweedy shrine.
Okay. We're with Mike Nichols. Is Mike Nichols back there?
Yeah. Down below. I'm gonna have my own Mike Nichols little bobblehead created just for me because I would be the only audience for that.
I would really want to see that. I want a Nick Cave bobblehead.
Yes.
But I have to get Amanda Q in the background to figure out what I'm talking about with the Wilco thing. Okay, Beth. So I'm seeing comments come in. So Beth Johnson is here. So hi Beth, happy you're here. So good. I'm seeing some comments. So yay.
Hi Beth.
So that's good. Yay.
But I love being in San Diego outdoors for a concert. It was great.
Okay, so we have a new venue called the Shell, which is down in at the Bayfront. And the acoustics is supposed to be very similar to Hollywood Bowl acoustics.
Oh, cool.
So it's called the Shell. And so that's another place to look for some good concerts to go to. Heard it's really good down there. Haven't been yet myself, but
awesome.
Heard it's good. Okay, we've got lots of good books, I think, coming out tomorrow or last week or whenever you guys want to talk about them. I'm going to talk about events because we've got some really good event stuff happening. So I will do that at the very end. So it's going to go Andrea, Tom, Amanda. Do we need to call 911 to find out if Gabe's okay?
We'll leave it to Amanda.
Isn't he's at PNBA, right? Isn't that going on right now?
Oh, he didn't let us know. So
okay.
I don't know. I haven't talked to him in like 2 or 3 days.
All right. As long as we don't have to call 911.
I think it's PNBA. I've seen posts as of yesterday of people traveling to PNBA.
Okay. That must be it then. Okay.
I'll pass. Little quiet time. Okay.
Yeah. Just don't want to like make sure set up a signal. We need to. All right. Andrea, Tom, Amanda. So Andrea, take it away.
Okay. I'm trying to screen share. Is it happening? I'm disabled.
Now it should be working.
Okay. Okay, the first book I want to talk about is If Walls Could Speak, My Life in Architecture. And this is a memoir by the great architect, Masha Safdie. What an amazing guy. He's had a long life in the world of architecture, and he's written about it, 368 pages. This is a hefty one. 3250. It comes out tomorrow, and this is from Atlantic Monthly Press, which is the sister company of Grove Press, which I talk about a lot. So basically, if you don't know who Safdie is, he's one of the world's greatest and most thoughtful architects. He really thinks about the place of architecture in society and culture. And so this book is infused with those sorts of ideas. It's not just about, materials and design. It's really about how architecture as an art and a sensibility melds with the rest of the world and influences our human culture. So I think this is a really cool book, and it is lavishly illustrated with a lot of his work. And if you can see,
Ooh.
he's got, I just think his work is beautiful and varied. which is nice. And he uses older structures, as you can see down below. He uses older structures and incorporates his new work into older structures, as well as doing new pieces, original pieces as well. But I just think this guy is dynamite, and this is wonderfully edited by George Gibson, who is one of Grove's great editors. He's an executive editor there, and just does an excellent job with nonfiction and also mysteries and thrillers. That's his gig.
George
So-
is an icon.
Yeah, George is an
That's
icon.
right.
He's been with other major houses before Grove, but we're glad that I think he'll probably retire at Grove, and but may that be many moons down the way.
George is the epitome of like, he wears an ascot. You imagine that he's got this like big office in New York that's just got this, great view, and just everything's in its
Everything,
place.
yeah, everything to a T, just right.
Yes, just
Yeah.
right. The right
Book
lighting, the
lines.
right pen, the right desk. That's
Book
how
lines,
that's how I
walls.
envision.
Yeah. And so it's always a pleasure to represent any of the books that George is editing, because it's going to be superb. And actually, Amanda, in my notes, it says magisterially edited by the great George Gibson. So there you go. This is the only time I'm allowed to use that word in any form this session, magisterially edited.
Okay.
You chose the right book
The
to
right book.
Yep.
bestow the word.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. Okay, my comments stopped again. So
I don't know.
sorry, everybody. I'll try and catch up and get everybody going. So anywho, thanks, Andrea. Okay, Tom, what do you got?
Okay, so this is now an annual fun event when I get to on the publication day. So it's tomorrow, for Richard Osman's new book in the Thursday Murder Club series. This is The Bullet That Missed, on sale tomorrow. So it's, I honestly think he's getting better with each book. I mean, people, readers can debate which ones are their favorites, but they're really good. So far, there's three. So there's Thursday Murder Club, The Man Who Died Twice, and now the new one. And they're excellent, all of them. So it's really been just a blast to watch him grow and grow with each book. Of course, as I've said before, he's a huge star in England because he's on TV all the time. But here the books are finding readers just as readers. Most people don't know who Richard Osman is. So they're number one bestsellers there, but they're huge bestsellers here and growing. So again, you have the four sleuths in, they don't expect a body to appear, but all of a sudden there's a cold case that needs to be solved that brings in some of the past with some of the characters. He's also doing a good job of developing the characters with each book, so they're growing in each book. They're terrific. So I read this. There's a lot of great stuff happening around this, but this must be in the UK, but I saw this morning. It's the most this book on audio is the most pre-ordered audiobook in the history of Penguin Random House, probably just in the UK. But that's huge. It exceeded the previous record holder, which was Barack Obama's A Promised Land.
Wow.
So he's huge. He's huge in England for sure. So the reviews are fantastic. The Guardian says, once you read Osman's funny, warm-hearted novel, it's hard not to be charmed by the eccentricities and the resourcefulness of his creations. And then the Wall Street Journal, this was great. The Bullet That Missed hits on every front. Its quandaries stymie, its solutions thrill, its banter is worth reciting, and its characters exemplify an admirable camaraderie. One can only hope that the Thursday Murder Club's next outing appears before long. And I have a pretty good feeling it'll be next September, right around this time. He's one of these authors.
Is he going about every year?
Yeah, and I think he's committed to doing that every year. So it's going to be a great bestseller for the fall, going into the holidays, The Bullet That Missed. So, and if you haven't caught up, there's only two so far previous. So catch up. You don't have to read them.
You don't have to though. Yeah.
But
There's
it's
a little
kinda-
bit of backstory, I think, but not much.
Yeah, Yeah, not much, right? But they're so much fun that it's easy to pick up the paperbacks and then go to the hardcover.
Yeah. So Beth Johnson has little fun facts. So she says that his books in England now outsell Harry Potter.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah.
that's
amazing.
Yeah.
that's a big
saw
deal.
that. I saw a story on that, and that's a flabbergasting statistic.
It really is.
Yeah, it
Right.
is.
I
Yeah.
was gobsmacked, as they say.
Gobsmacked. And she has already ordered her Richard Osman fun.
Oh,
So
excellent.
okay, so Sarita on here, did any of you guys recommend a book called Acceptance? Was that any of yours?
That was me. Yeah,
That was your okay.
that was
Sarita
the
said,
memoir.
hold on. So she said Sarita said it was incredible. So
Oh, excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad.
what was the memoir about? I can't remember.
That was about well, she's the daughter, a lot of things going on, but mother was a hoarder.
Oh, right.
She like it was about part of it was about getting accepted into the Ivy League, which she was, but
Right.
then it's about how you know, it's not as easy as that's not the end of the story.
Right. Okay. So good. Good one there.
Excellent.
All right, Amanda.
Alrighty, so my first book up that I have for you here is Less is Lost by Andrew Sean Greer. Had the pleasure of meeting him a week and a half ago at the Kaliba event in Sacramento. He was fabulous. Fun fact, the book is gilded. That gold is like real gold gildedness, so very fun. But anyway, this is the follow-up to the Pulitzer Prize-winning novel Less. But in this book, we find author Les on the run from his problems yet again, as he takes a job that has him winding back and forth across America. Les stitches his trademark gray suit for a bolero and a cowboy hat costume and a handlebar mustache with companions Polly, which is a little black pug, and Rosina, a camper van by his side. Les discovers that as much as he wants to, he can't outrun his demons forever, but he can sure have an adventure trying. So there you go. This was also selected for an Indie Next Pick, which we are super excited about. So there you go. Less is Lost. And no, you do not have to read the first one to enjoy this one. So.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. Okay, yeah, go ahead, Tom.
I haven't read the first one, but I've had so many people recommend that book to me. It's on my list of books to get to.
Yep. So fabulous read.
It's one of those things that I think if, even the second one, it's like knowing that the first one won the Pulitzer, if you haven't read it yet, it's like start with that and then, then read the second one too. So that's kind of how I roll. Anyways, oh my God. Okay. Who saw the National Book Award lists? Did you guys see them?
Yeah.
I've not seen it yet.
Okay. I was like, huh? Who? What?
Oh,
There were
in terms of the nominees, the
Yes.
finalists.
yes. It was
Again,
a
I was
very
more focused on which ones were ours, so I'll have to go back and look at the rest.
yeah, you got to kind of look at the rest of it because here's the thing with it. There was not a thing, like sometimes you can kind of gather a theme that they're kind of going for.
Oh, yeah.
These were
Yes.
like some were stories, some were, they were all over the map this time
Right.
on what I think one was even a kind of a thriller. I don't know.
I'll have to
I don't
look.
know. I was just sort of like, I think I recognized one title, which I found really interesting because usually, at least for the fiction, usually I know like
Yeah,
3 or 4 of them like right off the top. And I was like,
especially for that particular award,
Right.
that's generally like you know them all.
correct. And this was one where I was like, I did in my Scooby-Doo. I was like, huh? What? Where did these come from? So then I'm like looking and seeing who the. So anyways, I digress. Andrea, take us away.
Thank you. I want to talk about the marvelous land of Snurgs. This is a middle reader from Europa Editions. They do forays into YA and middle reader. And love this cover, right? How great is that?
So good.
Yeah. This is a funny, quirky, brand new story that's based on the 1927 classic by E.A. White-Smith, which was the inspiration for J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit. This also features 8 original illustrations by Melissa Castrillon. They're really beautiful. And then all of the chapter heads are illustrated as well. So that it's just a nice little value added. And it also harkens back to the days of yore in children's publishing with those great illustrations throughout. I wish I had some to show you, but they were not loaded here into Edelweiss. But trust me when I say they're really good and kids will like them. And of course, the Tolkien world has a massive following. And this is also, the Tolkien estate is also behind this book, which is nice. And Ruth Tolkien says, this new retelling is unique in its style and imagination, with outlandish and spectacular characters and dastardly villains, set in a deliciously atmospheric landscape. This is a delightful fantasy interwoven with values of courage, loyalty, and the strength and love of true friendship. So, you know, what's not to like about this cool kids book? And this is out tomorrow officially. And that, I think it's Hobbit Day this week sometime. So International Hobbit Day. And so that's why they wanted to have the book come out around that time. So we think this is going to do well. It's got a lot of early reads. And also, even though this is not an audiobook that my publishers do, the audiobook will be read by Stephen Fry. So I'm sure that's going to be
That'll be great.
extremely entertaining.
Oh my
So-
God, yes.
We can all agree on that. The audio will be amazing.
I want it now. Oh my God.
Yeah, he's pretty amazing. And you know, E.A. Wake Smith, is that a British name or what? Okay,
good
so so it's just nice to see that this is back. It's a nice classic. It's had in a new retelling. So
Love it. Can't go wrong with that. Lord of the Rings was my solace during COVID. I think I rewatched it because I was just in like this total fog for the first like 8. I think I must have watched it like 10 times.
I've never
Except for the
seen them.
I just sat in front of the TV and just
Watch
like
them.
zoned out and just like went into a fantasy world.
Are you watching the new TV series?
No, because it's on Prime Amazon and I refuse to buy Prime.
Right. Well, and I have no interest because I don't.
No, I
have-
don't either. I really don't. We're
I've never
watching the
tried
game. We're watching the Game of Thrones. Snooze fest.
Really.
Ugh, at least for me. I mean, I don't know. It's like it's
No
bad.
spoilers. I have not watched
I
the
won't,
episode.
I won't watch. It just doesn't for me. I'm watching it. We're however many weeks into it, and to me, it's like it's because it's really just about the one family. So there's not enough going on. So it's almost it's almost
It's like
soap
a family
opera.
drama, right?
Yeah, it's almost soap opera-ish, you
Right.
know.
Hmm.
So anyways, there we go.
Okay.
All right,
We digress.
go ahead. Yeah, I could digress all day. We could talk about all kinds of stuff.
How
All
about
right,
we talk
Tom.
about my next book?
All right, how about
So-
that?
The Old Place by Bobby Finger. So this is on sale tomorrow. I'd never heard of Bobby Finger. But I'm not his core audience. So that's what's so interesting about this novel. So it's a novel, full-fledged, novel. But he is the host of it's a weekly podcast about entertainment and basically like celebrity gossip. It's called Who Weekly, I think it's called. It's two smart people. He's one of them, just like talking about what celebrities did that week. And I listened to one episode and making fun of, the celebrities. And anyway, it's developed this cult following. It's so popular that they travel the country for the podcast and sell out theaters and do the podcast. So you would think his first novel would be young and hip, and no, it's not. It's a feel-good, old-fashioned, big-hearted novel about a 60-something widow. She's the main character, living in Billington, Texas, which I'm not sure if that's fictional. It's a fictional town or not, but he's originally from Texas. Now he lives in Brooklyn. But so the book is it's for everyone. It's for his fans who love him, but it's for people who've never heard of him, who just want a good read, who sink into this world. So she's a a school teacher who has just been kind of retired, not necessarily of her own, by her choice. And she had a falling out with another woman, a neighbor. They both have lost their husbands. They both lost their children. And so it's about their relationship, but slowly but surely we learn about what happened to the main character's son. And that's where some of the surprises come in, some of the darkness. But it's really just great characters, great supporting cast, great town. You really feel like you understand the town. And in one of his interviews, he says, I like books about small towns, little communities where people are just finding a way to get by and be happy. That's what the book is about. They feel very real, very authentic, very charming. So if you like, we have a great quote from Emma Straub. If you like Emma Straub, that kind of genuinely feel good, but really good writing, you'll like this book. So it's Bobby Finger's The Old Place, and I think it'll be the start of a career for him. I think he's gonna. There's more novels to come, I'm sure.
Who's the publisher?
That's Putnam.
Putnam?
And
Okay.
Sally Kim is the editor.
Okay. Sally.
And
Okay.
I generally like her books.
Sally
so.
Kim's got a great eye. She just sent
Yeah.
me one that's coming out in November that I got to read. The Three of Us.
Oh yeah. Oh wow, that's a trip. Yeah.
Okay. It's on my stack.
In the best way, but wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Oh, that intrigues me.
Move it up, and it's a quick read.
Yeah. It doesn't look very
Yeah.
good. So I think blurbs are due Monday for November. I think for Indie Next.
But I think that's coming out later, actually.
Oh.
It's spring.
For just
I'll double check the date.
Okay. Never mind. Okay.
December's due, and like on the 27th, I think, for December.
But you can trust Sally Kim, so that's
Yeah.
goodness.
Oh, I think you're right, Amanda, because it's October. It's like October, November, December. Yeah. So I miss November. Oops. Oh well. I'm reading November books right now.
A little behind, Julie. I mean, I'm already on summer of next year, so.
Oh no, well that's just the ones that I'm trying to get into Indie Next. Holy cow, you should see my stuff that I've read that's like April, May of next year. And I go,
Oh.
do they really think I'm gonna remember these in like 6 months? It's like, thank
And then
God for
you're like, isn't that book already been out for months? And you're like, nope, it's not even out yet.
it's not even out yet. And thank God for Edelweiss, because I can put them in there and I can keep track, because it's like
Yeah.
otherwise
Impossible.
Yeah.
impossible. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
All right.
Amanda, what you got?
All right. So next up, I have Ithaca from Claire North. Of course, retellings are all the rage right now. So this actually is the story of Penelope, the wife of Odysseus. And so this is what's happening in Ithaca while Odysseus is off on his, several decade journey around the sea. And so we need to know what happens and what's going on with the women that have been left behind in Ithaca. So this is the story of Penelope and the women there. But the person that's telling the story is not Penelope, but in fact, Hera. So that kind of gives it a little bit of an interesting twist of what is Hera doing here and why is she telling us the story of Penelope and the women of Ithaca. So here we go, told from that perspective, gives it an interesting little twist. So there you go. Ithaca from Claire North. This is the first book so there will be, I believe, 2 more books continuing on with the story of Ithaca.
Yeah, those retellings are so, they're so popular. They're so good.
Yeah.
And everybody that's done them seems to have done them really well. The ones that I haven't read, obviously I haven't read all of them, but I've read sort of like one from each, and they're all good.
I like a good retelling. Always love a good retelling.
Yeah. And some of them are just like, I never knew the original story. So it's just like,
Right.
That's true, actually. I needed to brush up on my actual history, because before I read this one, I realized that my most current and the active information I had in my head was the movie Troy with Orlando Bloom and Brad Pitt. And I was like, you know what? That's not all of it. That's what I remember. Because come on. But
and what was it? 300 Sparta? The Sparta guy?
Something like that,
We
yeah.
are Sparta. Anyways.
Yeah.
I
So there you
digress
go.
again. Okay. We're ripping through today. So I guess our lightning round doesn't have to be super lightning, but we're on our lightning round.
Like it usually is.
Yeah. I don't even know why I call it that.
I love calling it that, even though it never is.
That doesn't work. All right, Andrea.
Okay, thank you. I'm doing 2 children's books today. So I'm going to finish up with Gustave and Henri, Space Time Cake. This is by Andy Matthews and illustrated by Peter Thomas. And this is a little charming book for ages 7th to 10th grade, basically. At $14.99. It's a hardcover paper over board. It's very charming. Basically, Gustave is a pig, and his best friend, Henrietta the dog, whose nickname Henri, they get into a lot of trouble, and they go on, there's 3-in-1 adventures here in this graphic novel-ish story. I just love these illustrations. They're really cute. And these 3-in-1 stories revolve around Gustave and Henri having to travel back in time to return a library book, which I love. It's fantastic. And they get into a lot, there's a lot of issues along the way. Like I said, I mean, if I was a kid, I would just dig these illustrations. They're off planet doing a lot of stuff in space. And there's also, wow, if I can ever get there, there's also puzzles and stuff for kids to do in the book. So at the back, which is nice, activity sheets and that sort of thing, and riddles and all of that. So this is just a cute little book. Gustave and Henri for $14.99, hardcover paper overboard. Love it. This is from Red Comet Press, which is one of our newish children's publishers. They're based in Europe, and I by 2 old hands who decided to go their own way and create this publishing company. And I'm telling you, they just, whatever they touch turns to gold. They just really love what they're doing. So
That looks like
Andrea, tell me again, because I think you said it's 7 to 10-year-olds or 10th graders. It's
7 to 10. That's wrong, I think.
okay.
7 to 10 year olds.
I'm sorry, ages 7 to 10,
There we
grade
go.
2 to 5.
There we go. Okay, because when you were talking, I was just like, I don't think this is for 7th to 10th graders.
Yeah, that's
It
wrong.
could be.
it's much
No,
more
it's just me.
sophisticated than it looks.
It's just me being crazy. I forgot to read this beautiful quote from Yo-Yo Ma about if walls could speak, the Masha Safdie book. If
You
walls-
go.
Let me just read it,
Good
okay,
time.
since we have a little bit of extra time, because it's so beautiful. If walls could speak is not just about architecture. It is about a man in search of beauty, truth, and service to people through examining nature, the nature of the universe, and the nature of man. That's what Masha himself had said. In his autobiography, Masha Safdie succeeds in making the walls speak, revealing not only the depth, curiosity, and drive of a man with a mission, but also the challenges he faced creating extraordinary work for over 6 decades. Perhaps he says it best, quote, "If we seek truth, we shall find beauty," end quote. I was profoundly moved reading this book. That's from Yo-Yo Ma. So
That's great.
Love it.
yeah,
that's a good quote.
a great artist paying homage to another great artist. So
For sure. And another, speaking of great artists, I see in your back over there. See I got sniper vision now. I can see everybody's backgrounds. So I see.
Look
No
at that.
background
Yeah, I see,
here.
yeah, your background's pretty, but I can see David Bowie over your shoulder there. And I
Yeah.
want to see that he's got a new
There's a
there's
documentary or something.
new
right?
like Moonstruck or something.
It's called
Um,
Moon Age Daydream.
Moon Age Daydream.
In this book,
Oh, she froze. You froze, Andrea.
Andrew, you always do this to us. We're
I know,
about to
right?
hear
It's
some-
like, oh my
Oh, it's
God.
the good part. I think she
There
plans
you
this.
are, you're
I think
back.
she does it on purpose to like really entice us.
What did you
Is
say
it
about,
going back?
what did you, yeah, you're back. What
back.
did you say about the book?
sorry, my internet is unstable. So this book is called Moon Age Daydream, which is the same as the documentary. And it's a companion volume with amazing photographs from Mick Rock, who, and this has been out before, but it's been updated with some new photographs. And it's text by Bowie, which is great because it's the closest thing we're ever going to get to a memoir.
Awesome.
And I'm not sure. I don't know if Adrian picked this up for the store, but I was going to talk about it later in the season. So
I need to, yeah, no, I actually went in Beverly Hills when they had the photo showing. This was years ago now. I think before he passed, actually. So it was like early, like 2010, I don't know when it was. Anyways, very good. Anyways, I digress.
His photographs.
Yeah, it was Mick Rock's photographs, I think, is what they were up in
Oh,
yeah,
Beverly
he's
Hills.
like just amazing, that guy.
Yeah. Yeah. It was really cool.
One of the great.
It wasn't, it was 2014, 15, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know, somewhere around there. Anyway. All right, Tom.
Okay. So I've talked about two up reads, books that bring you up, lift you up. And this one is also that kind of book, if you can read it the right way, which I've tried to. I've talked about this before. I talked about this as a pre-order right after the Dobbs decision, but it's Lady Justice by Dahlia Lithwick. It's on sale tomorrow in hardcover. And so she is the senior legal commentator for Slate. She is like my go-to person, has been for years, anything to do with the Supreme Court or the law, which there was a time in my life when I didn't think about the Supreme Court that much.
Right.
But over the last decade, I've
and maybe we should have been. When you see some of them, when you go back and you look, we all should have been paying a lot more attention.
You're right. So in the new book, so in this book, so she's been this important journalist and commentator on the law for decades, but this is her first book. And so right after the Trump election, 2016, a lot of women lawyers jumped into action. And so that's what inspired her to write the book. The subtitle is Women, the Law, and the Battle to Save America. So independently of each other, these women lawyers, they did all kinds of things. So she focuses on Sally Yates, who was the acting attorney general who refused to sign off on the Muslim ban. Becca Heller, who was the founder of a refugee assistance program, who fought the fight over the travel ban. This woman, Roberta Kaplan, I heard this great interview between Dahlia and Roberta Kaplan. She's a commercial litigator, but when Charlottesville happened, she sprung into action and she made sure that those neo-Nazis were sued. So in Charlottesville, so there's a lot of stuff about what happened, like her feel like here I think she's from New York. And she's not a tall woman. She's a short woman, but she's surrounded by in this courtroom, all these men and many and kind of menacing men in the South. So she's kind of this incredible, like really brave figure who stood up against all these people and won. Then there's Stacey Abrams. And there's more. So if we're looking for, and of course the book's been revised a little bit since Dobbs, so it's as up to date as it can be. It was revised midsummer to take into account Dobbs. So the book is really her, like I think she needed to do it in order to keep her spirits up, so that she could see that even though we're all feeling like every institution is crumbling, and we may not be wrong about that, there are people who are fighting the good fight that we may not hear about, which we should be. So Lady Justice by Dahlia Lithwick, she knows everybody and she'll be on MSNBC, she'll be all over NPR. You'll be hearing about this book. And I just hope people start to care, to your point, about the law. And so we need to learn about some of these cases and these women. And her conclusion is very positive, like at the very, very end of the epilogue. She said her belief, and I think she needs to believe this, is women plus law equals magic. So I'll leave you with that. And I think also Dahlia says, even though faith in the institutions is at an all-time low, we still need those institutions because otherwise lies chaos. So she still believes in those in the Supreme Court, in the courts, even though there are many issues. So Lady Justice, Dahlia Lithwick.
That's the key thing. I think that boy, it's chaos if we don't have those systems.
Yeah.
So
right.
I don't think that's, there's some people that like want to, some people want to blow everything up, and it's just like, oh, I don't think everybody really understands what blowing everything up really would look like.
Right. We just have to fight harder.
Yeah. And there's some people that aren't afraid to voice their opinions.
Yeah.
And they seem to be the loudest voices, but not necessarily the majority. So I think
Yes.
I think that's kind of a key thing too. So anywho, Amanda, what do you got?
Bringing it home.
Bring it home.
And as per usual, I'm rounding it out with
Oh,
a
cute.
picture book. So this is from two-time Caldecott medalist Sophie Blackall. Her new picture book, Farmhouse, and Morgs will have signed prints to go along with this book. So fun little fact there. And so here we can just take a look through the images. Beautifully illustrated, wonderful story of this family who lives on a farm and their everyday lives as they live and they work on this farm. Very charming, really wonderful. Again, just another beautifully illustrated book from Sophie Blackall. I mean, I don't need to say more than that than just looking at these gorgeous illustrations. So there you go, my final book. There you go.
I love it.
Gorgeous, yeah.
That is really pretty. I wanted
Yeah.
to say good night, John Boy.
Yeah, right. For those of us that remember.
Probably before your time, Amanda.
I had no idea what's going on.
I know. See, it's like that makes me feel so old.
I
The
thought Gabe would have taught you better than that, but okay.
Right. Come on, the Waltons. Come on, man.
Oh,
You ever
okay.
heard of it?
Heard of them.
Still not bringing
Still
memory
not.
back.
No, and you know what? It's one of those shows that unfortunately
It's on
did
the
not-
Hallmark Channel.
It
Oh, I
is.
bet it is.
And I love the Hallmark Channel. It's on the is it their drama one?
Yeah.
That's the one that has all of those kinds of the
Like Little House on the Prairie.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
It's on
But
the
I don't know
drama
that the
channel.
Waltons like really survived the test of time like some of them. Some of them you can watch that are the
Probably
older
not.
shows. I'm not sure that one.
I still feel nostalgia for it, but
Correct.
I actually was exposed to quite a few of the older shows. Thank you very much.
All right.
But that was
Okay,
not one.
I'm going to share my screen because we have a heck of an event week coming up here. So everybody, any of you are not in San Diego, tell your friends who maybe are in San Diego about some of these things going on. So this one's just tomorrow's a virtual event, should be really fun. So that one's at 4:00. Rolf Bernershka, who was I believe he was the kicker for
that's right. I think that's right.
for the Chargers
yeah.
years ago, back in the 80s when I was down going to Charger games. Anyways,
After the Waltons, but
after the Waltons, before I don't know. Anyways, the Wilco song I was trying to think of. Anyways, I'm digressing again. But Ralph will be here on Tuesday, tomorrow night. He's going to talk about his book, Saving Wildlife, and he's in partnership with the San Diego Zoo. So it's a lot to do with the San Diego Zoo and what's going on there. So that's super exciting. Wednesday, Craig Johnson will be down at the, yay. And he's, oh God, I'm blanking on this show, not Yellowstone. Longmire. So he's the one that brought Longmire to all of you. So he will be here. We're going to have him down at the, Coronado Library. We might be close to selling out of the reserve seating for that, but there's plenty of open seats. So if you're interested,
he's spectacularly entertaining.
He's so good in person.
Yeah.
He's so good in person. So love that. And then let's see what else we got. And then Scott Turow will be at USD, Amanda. Here's this little sneak on this one. They actually pushed the pub date to the 27th, but those of us who are going to host him get a little sneak peek and you get your book a little bit early. So if you're a Scott Turow fan, come out early and get your book early. And then Javier Zamora, oh my God, this memoir is will break your heart and just like it's so uplifting.
I have heard so much about this book and everybody is just like cannot wait to get their hands on it.
It's so good. I mean, it's beyond good. So he will be down at Coronado Library on Saturday. He was 9 years old when his parents were already in America and he was in El Salvador with his grandparents, and his grandfather, they didn't have enough money, obviously, it's expensive to do this. He crossed at 9 years old by himself. Wow. So his story is just, I mean, if it wasn't for the goodness of strangers, it would have been and you're reading it kind of with your throat up here because it's like, oh my God, is something bad going to happen? But it's so good. And then the lovely Ellen Hildebrand will be here in October. So we got some great stuff happening.
Yeah, that's a great.
Good lineup.
Yeah, Celeste Ng's coming in October. We've got so much stuff happening. She hasn't even made it to the front page yet. But,
She'll get there.
she'll get there. But Celeste Ng, that one's going to be, everybody's really excited. When we did the Taylor Jenkins Reid event, it's going to be in the same theater. So we kind of pre-announced it and there was a, in the audience.
Good.
So that was
Excellent.
a good thing too. So we got some good stuff happening. So great books this week. Lots of good events. So everybody have a good reading week. The weather's starting to, well, we're supposed to get another heat wave coming, but it cooled down a little bit where it started making me feel like fall.
Right.
Making-
At the concert the other night, it was a little bit chilly.
I know. It's kind of, yeah. I
It
was kind of,
nice.
yeah, I'm ready for fall reading weather. So
Yes.
here we go. All right, everybody, happy reading, and we will see everybody next week. Bye.
Bye.